How about a little Western Sports Roundup coming your way here on the Cowboy Channel? And Denver, the National Western Stock Show and Rodeo, is underway. In fact, just moments ago, bracket 1 got completed. We're on to bracket number 2 later on this evening. We'll have all the results for you from bracket number 1 coming up on the show.
And we've also got some big news from the TR9 Ranch. A $3 million trainer is going to join us live in studio to tell us all about it and what his involvement is going to be in the ranch's future.
Oh, January always brings on the big rodeos for the world of professional rodeo. Not only Denver moments ago, but also Odessa, Texas, and the Sand Hill Stock Show and Rodeo. It continues through tomorrow night. We'll have some results and what's taking place right now, and the leaders from Odessa. Also, what's going on at the Montana Circuit Finals as well. All that and more coming up on Western Sports Roundup.
Watch Weston, let's go. Yeah, look out, look out. That National Finals bucking horse rider is a young star. Way to go, Weston. He finished number 22 in the world in 2025.
Welcome into our Cowboy Channel studios once again. Now, Ty and Claire, I get to officially join you here at the Western Sports Roundup desk. I'm Katie Lucas, hopping in at the tail end there of the Denver Rodeo, but we've got a lot of news to share today on Western Sports Roundup as well, outside of Denver.
We do, and I appreciate you helping me a little bit
You're
there
welcome.
at the tail end of Denver. I knew you probably saw that I needed a little help there at the end, so she came on over a little bit early from our producer's room where we get ready down here at the Cowboy Channel. But you're exactly right. We just finished watching Denver, the National Western Stock Show and Rodeo. We've got a big show planned for you, but what do we say? We just get right into the results from Denver. Bracket number 1 is complete.
Yeah, in case you missed it, let's recap bracket number 1, starting with round 1 in the bareback riding. Daxton Field is really making his presence known very early here. 82 points on Survey Brothers. Deuce Bigelow, what a great ride. Great horse, great matchup, and great way to start off Denver.
You bet. The grandson of the world champion, Louis Field, the nephew of the 6-time world champion, of course, in Casey Field. Yeah, that's no surprise that Daxton Field's doing that. I really got to watching him last year at the National High School Finals, and I knew this season of 2026 was going to be big for Daxton Field. Exactly right. He was 82 yesterday in round number 1, but then we take you to what just happened just a few moments ago, actually, in this performance number 2. Cooper Philippek, we watched this young man come on the scene a couple years ago at this rodeo. He's the reigning collegiate champion bareback rider. That is Cooper Philippek, always wearing the yellow hat. He's pretty bright and shiny no matter where he goes.
He's looking pretty electric right there in that electric yellow. He certainly makes his presence known right from the moment he walks into the arena with that outfit, but he also reminds us all why he's there when he gets on the back of the bareback horse. Here are your advancers from bracket 1. For anyone that wasn't watching, it's the best on 2 in each bracket that will move on top 3 in the average.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're in the rough stock or the timed events. It's the best on the 3 that are advancing on out of those semifinals. They will clear the slate when you get to the semifinals. There's 8 brackets, by the way. They'll take the top 3 from each one of those brackets. That's 24 contestants that'll be divvied up into 3 different performances during the semifinals. So those 24 will be divvied up. The top 8 in each one of those nights will be cut in half. That'll move on to the finals as we take you to steer wrestling. Yesterday in go round number 1 for this first bracket, it's a former Resistol Rookie of the Year from a couple of years ago. That is Big Landers White. Makes his home here in the state of Texas, but 3-7 for this guy last night. And the thing is, he's been in the top 50 the last year or 2 of the steer wrestling. He's dealt with an injury or 2 along the way, but I would expect to see this guy in Las Vegas really, really soon in the next couple of years.
Yeah, could this be the breakout year for Landers White? It certainly looks like it when we watch him here in Denver to kick things off with that 3.7-second run. They use the same set of cattle in every bracket. So if you had the set of cattle in day number 1, they drew the same set for day number 2, and then they switch and get a new pen when the next bracket comes along. So they're running at the same pen here for round number 2. Tad Williams must have liked his draw. 3-9 for him.
Yeah, Utah Cowboy, and definitely was good on his first one as as well. These steers are a little stronger up there in Denver. I've kind of noticed that here over the last couple of performances. Those are your three guys that are moving on. Landress, along with Tad Williams, Emmett Edler. We talked about the Edler family before. Of course, a brother to the world champion Jacob Edler. Those are your three steer wrestlers advancing out of bracket number 1 there in Denver.
When we move on to the team roping side of things, I like this pairing that I'm seeing here in Denver. Shea Carroll roping with the young Denton Dunning, 4.5 seconds for them. We've seen the team roping be up and down at Denver before. Tougher pin, just a lot of variables to deal with there, but they started off strong.
Yeah, that graphic there, it's actually supposed to be Denton Dunning. That's who's healing there for Shea Carroll. And of course, both of these guys were number 18 in the world standings a year ago. Denton Dunning from a couple of years ago was your reserve Resistol Rookie of the Year, trying to qualify for his first NFR. That talented header on the heading side can definitely help him get there, because remember, Shea Carroll, he's been to the National Finals Rodeo on both occasions. He's been there on the heading side and the healing side. That was round 1. Here was round 2 just a couple moments ago, just a couple hours ago, I should say.
Yeah, Ketch Kelton and Peyton Bray. I love this Palomino horse of Ketch's. He looks so solid, so good for him. Another pairing that's kind of newer here, and I think it'll be interesting to see the way that they shake out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And they were no time in round number 1, so they were strictly going for the go-round. Of course, that 4.1, that's not going to advance them to the semifinals, but when the bracket systems all get done there in Denver, they're going to get a lot of money out of that first round, I do believe. Here are your three teams that are moving on. Luke Brown and Trey Yates, I want to mention, they were a little bit long in round number 1. They didn't let that bother them any at all. Came back today, made a good run. They were 4-4 today. That lets them advance to the semifinals.
A little bit of veteran mentality from that team right there. Luke Brown, it seems like he makes about every short round all season long. He just knows how to play this game of rodeo. You can see it right there. Tough luck in round 1, but they still move on after their great run in round 2. In the saddle bronc riding, we actually had to wait to officially crown the champion. We'll tell you about that in a moment, but on day number 1, Stetson Wright set the bar in Generations Molly's game with this 83-point ride, Ty.
Yeah, and of course, I shared this if you watched the rodeo just moments ago, what a difference a year makes for Stetson Wright, because remember a year ago he was coming off injury, literally had to stay in the parking lot for most of the Denver rodeo, just waiting for someone to turn out for him to be able to get into Denver last year, because he didn't have any qualifications coming off of that injury the year prior. Ended up well in Denver last year. Oh, what a difference the year makes this year. I'm off another couple world titles for him in 2025, and Stetson Wright doing just exactly what he always does at 83 points yesterday.
Maybe he entered the first bracket on purpose so that he did not have to wait to get into Denver. But I told you just a moment ago, we had to wait to officially crown that round 1 champion, because Weston Patterson actually got a reride in round 1. They rolled it over to today's performance, so he had to get on 2 horses today. 83 points for him, though, to split the lead in round 1, but his job wasn't done yet.
No, it definitely wasn't, because he had to come back and get on another one. So did this guy, Stetson Wright. So he splits the win with Weston in round number 1. Stetson comes back today and says, okay, no more splitting it with anybody. I'm going to do it all myself. Big bang of the Survey Brothers rodeo string. 86 points for him to get the outright win today in this performance for go round number 2 of bracket number 1. Oh, yeah, he's clapping. He's excited about it, feeling good, coming off the big world championships there in Las Vegas again. He's moving on to the semifinals.
Got great company as well. Weston Patterson, as we said, he's working hard to move on in Denver, and that's exactly what he got done. Carson Bingham will round out the top 3 that are moving on to the semifinals. So they've got a few days to wait, a few days to rest now until those semifinals, but they've punched their tickets.
You'll see Stetson Wright in the bull riding a little later on next week, as he comes back in the bull riding in one of the later brackets just before the semifinals, as we take you to the tie-down roping, and we take you back to last night's performance. A young man from South Dakota, that is Dalton Porch that you're looking at. 9 seconds flat for him last night. Just a couple little bobbles there in the run, but kind of set him up good for today to hopefully come back and just make another one of those kind of runs. But it was actually not the case for Dalton Porch. He was the best last night, but no luck today, so he will not be advancing. He'll just be doing good on that first round one of 9 seconds flat.
For round number 2, it was all about Chip Wilson. 8.8 seconds betters that run, or that first round winning time right there. Just a pretty good, decent, smooth run there. Put it together at 8-8.
So as you look at it for the guys that are moving on to the semifinals, it's neither one of those two that we just mentioned to you as far as who went on as far as the go-rounds go. Cole Clemens, though, this guy, semifinals leader going into the semifinals. Of course, he's a national finals rodeo tie-down roper. He was 10-1 today. He was 9-1 yesterday. He was just behind Dalton Porch that we talked about, but he's the best there out of the semifinals. Of course, as you look at it right there, Cole, little bitty bobble getting off his horse right there. I don't know if he kind of hung up to that saddle, but no matter what, he didn't let it bother him any when it was all said and done.
Yeah, he got things done and won the bracket here. And of course, as you mentioned several times in the broadcast of round number 2, you don't bring those times or scores with you to the semifinals. It is now clean slate every step of the way, so Cole Clemens doesn't have to worry about that 10-second run anymore, but he is moving on.
Him and Strand Dunn along with Riley Webb. Remember, I told you if you were joining us for Denver just earlier during the performance, there's 2 Riley Webbs that rode calves. One from Falls City, Texas. One's from Denton, Texas. That is the Riley Webb from Falls City, so that is not the reigning and 3-time world champion. But hey, I like that there's 2. We might have 2 Riley Webbs in the semifinals at Denver when it all gets said and done here in a week or so.
Riley Webb squared in the semifinals. We're calling it right now. In the barrel racing, AC Pinkston started off so strong in round number 1, 15.16 for the second generation cowgirl right here. What a good run on this bay horse. I know they've done a lot of changes there in Denver. It can be so fast there. So she stepped out and made a great run in the first round.
The collegiate champion from last season of 2025 for her. And Katie, as you mentioned that, it's kind of an odd entrance to get into the arena there at Denver. The alleyway's not in the middle like most arenas. It's kind of set up at a weird angle, but here's the deal. AC Pinkston, she didn't let that bother her any at all, 15-16. And as we get into what just happened today, round number 2, talk about the ground being good. The last barrel racer to go in the performance today was the fastest of the run. That's Morgan Addison at 15-10.
I know that makes ground experts so proud to see someone from the very bottom of the pack able to win. And you know, you mentioned it's a tough setup once you get into the arena at Denver, but you need a seasoned horse because that's not even considering everything going on in the back. You can see a little bit of the warm-up pen there, and there might be some heavy horses back there. There might be a 8-horse hitch that is getting ready to go while you're trying to warm up your barrel horse. So it is a high-intensity spot there in the back pens. AC Pinkston, Morgan Addison, and Whitley Sharp, they were all able to manage the course, and they're now moving on at Denver.
And we get to the bull riding, which was the final event of the day, final event of the performance. And you look at it, we take you back to yesterday. This is Raleigh Johnson. He had a bull called Mr. Nasty just yesterday, 84 points. That bull definitely lived up to his name. And I said this when we recapped it at the beginning of the rodeo, but that bull was tough to ride. I mean, he tried to get into a spin, looked pretty good there, and then he flattens out and wants to jump out of it. But Raleigh Johnson's just coming off his first trip to the NFR. He handled it very well yesterday.
Yeah, what a great ride on Mr. Nasty. Couple nasty moves there, but today, round number 2, it was all about Kobe Olison. 83 points on Spilled Communion from Rocky Mountain Rodeo. Let's take a look at this ride right here that just wrapped up our performance. Couple moves there. Colby looked like he was pretty darn comfortable.
I think he was. Really high jumping bull. See how that bull gets really tall in the front end? Got a lot of move, kind of that old Bramer type style right there. Kind of old school looking rodeo bull right there, and kind of bucks the same way as well. Lots of up and down there for Colby, but hey, the Cascade, Idaho man, he handled it very well. In fact, he matched exactly what he did in round number 1. He was 83 in round number 1, comes back today, gets the go-round win for round number 2. He, along with Raleigh Johnson and Riley Shippey, are moving on. The interesting part for Raleigh Johnson, he was only 76 points today. He was offered a re-ride option, but he did not take that, and I think that's kind of good business for him because he just needed to really have a qualified ride to be able to advance to the semifinals. Clean slate when you get to the semifinals, so who cares now about that 76?
Yeah, it just goes to show you can't just solely focus on your ride. You've got to handle the business of rodeo. If Raleigh would have taken the re-ride, gotten on another bull, and maybe been bucked off, he might not have advanced on. But he obviously knew that he had a chance with that lower score, and it was the right decision there in Denver.
Yeah, you definitely need to have your head in the game when it comes to riding bulls or pretty much any event there. But I thought that was a good choice there for Raleigh Johnson because, as we mentioned, now he's moving on to the semifinals, looking good for him in Denver.
Yeah, certainly is. When we come back on Western Sports Roundup, we've got a big announcement about a ranch that may have huge impact on the future of Western performance horses. We're going to tell you about it next.
And coming up a little later on in the show, Odessa, Texas continues this week for its second week of rodeo action. In fact, it'll end up tomorrow night before they crown their champions. The Sandhill Stock Show and Rodeo will tell you who's leading and who's doing well out there. Coming up a little later on Western Sports Roundup.
Western Sports Roundup brought to you by Resistol, the official hat of cowboys everywhere. We live it every day. Western Sports Roundup is brought to you by Rock and Roll Denim. Live boldly. Live in rock and roll denim.
We're back on Western Sports Roundup, and before the break, I mentioned we've got a big announcement from a ranch that will have huge implications on the Western training world, the Western horse world here, and we've got a great man who has had huge implications on the world of Western sports himself. Todd Bergen, both an NRCHA Snafflebit champion, NRHA Futurity champion, $3 million plus dollar rider. Todd, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We have a huge announcement to do with the TR9 Ranch, new ownership, and you're excited to be a part of that group as well as the general manager. Tell us a little bit about this big announcement.
Yeah, so the TR9 Ranch will now be the Theorem Ranch. Jason and Keisha Itkin purchased this earlier this year, officially took over January 7th. So it's kind of business as usual there. Corey Cushing was training out of there, doing his business. He'll continue to do that. Also, will ride a few horses for Theorem Ranch. Craig Thompson training out of there also. Again, continue on doing his same deal. I'm still going to train some horses, but probably not quite as many. Got a new job title, so that's keeping me pretty busy. But it's a fantastic facility. And hopefully we can use it to its fullest. You know.
Todd, when you think about the Theorem Ranch and the Itkin family and what their stamp that they're trying to put on the Western sports industry, remember it was just last year that they bought the $20 million sire, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yep. They're just going to continue to make this develop into something huge, and they're doing that with this purchase of the TR9 Ranch as well.
Right, and they're in the midst right now. We're already getting the design set up, building a brand new stallion barn there. So eventually Stevie will come there and stand there along with some of their other stallions that they've purchased. They just recently purchased a reining horse stallion from Cade McCutcheon. He'll continue to show him, but someday he'll be there staying at Stead also. They've got a couple other horses already that they'll stand there. But yes, it's not just like, you know, we're buying a few horses to get into it. They plan to host a lot of events at the ranch. They plan to be a part of a lot of innovative ideas and things within the Western industry. So it's more than, you know, we've got some new owners owning a stallion. They plan to come in and do a lot of things. We've had several meetings already on different ideas of things that we want to do for the industry. A lot of them will be at the ranch, so we're going to have some open houses there. We're planning on doing a cutting for the veterans. You know, there's just a whole gamut of things that we've got in store. So it's exciting times, but you're going to be hearing a lot from Theorem Ranch.
And it certainly is a venue that, as was said, is designed by horsemen for horsemen, but sounds like also very prepared to have the public come and watch and learn about the industry. Why was that so appealing to the Itkins?
Well, that was something that they wanted to do, and this ranch just fits that bill perfectly because it's a very, very unique ranch. I mean, like I said, there's 3 of us there training horses. We've also got a guy next door starting 2-year-olds. And then we have all the land to run cattle. It's a full-blown cattle operation there also. And then we're going to be standing some studs there. So, and it also has the ability to entertain. Like you said, open it to the public. Let people come in and be able to host events there. So it's just a very unique piece of land and a very unique property that really hasn't been seen by anybody before. So it's exciting, and they really want to try and use the facility to its fullest.
Todd, I'd have to say that you're a great fit for this family as well in the Theorem Ranch because of your success, not only in the reining arena, the working cow horse arena, the cutting arena, and with all that the Itkins are trying to do within the Western performance horse industry. I think you fit that bill very well to be able to give them advice as they go through all of this in all those different disciplines.
Yeah, I was very honored that they came to me and asked me to take on that role. It's new for me. I've been training horses my whole life, and that's really all I've done. I've run my own business, so this is a little the same, but on a much larger scale, you know. So yes, hopefully I can bring my years of experience in all the industries and hopefully guide them and mentor them a little bit and what I've learned along the way, and hopefully we can bring some good to this Western way of life. But yeah, very exciting, and they're passionate about it, and they've already spent, I don't know how many nights there. They were here today riding and you know, taking care of some things, but so they were really enjoying the ranch already, and great people. They're moving fast and they want to get things done, and so yeah, we'll be hearing from them.
It seems like doing right by the horses that are there is something that's a common goal for both you and the Itkins.
Sure. Yeah, you want to place those horses in the right, you know, where they're destined to go. You know, not every horse, if you breed it to be a cutter, is going to be a cutter. You know, they might go to be a cow horse, they might go on to be a rope horse, and that's one thing that we feel like as a ranch in its whole, with the people that we have around it and being a part of it, we can really put these horses wherever we need them to go. And we're going to be raising a lot of horses there. They already got some brood mares bought, purchased quite a few yearlings coming too this year, a few show horses already. But the diversity of people that are a part of this program, we should be able to place those horses and do where they are going to perform their best.
And here's the thing, and I want people to understand at home, and you could probably explain this a little more as well, Todd, but the Itkins, this didn't just happen overnight. I mean, they've had a ranch up, I believe it's Montana, is that correct?
Yes.
For a while. So they've already been in this industry for a while, but now with the purchase of Stevie Ray Vaughan last year, a couple other great stallions, and now this TR9 Ranch, they just want this to continue on for many years to come.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Keisha's grown up around horses and been around horses and rides, and I think we're going to see Keisha in the show pen here, not too far off. She's been practicing, got some practice horses. Jason comes and rides and has a good time with it. So yeah, I think this has been coming for a while. We didn't really know the name maybe in the industry, but yes, they've been around it for a while. They had a strong connection with Colby Lovell, who was here when they bought Stevie, and he's really been guiding them along the way and helping them with a lot of the purchases of these horses and connecting all of us together. So it's been a good relationship so far, and yeah, it's like I say, maybe we didn't hear their name for a while, but we're going to be hearing it now.
Yeah.
As I mentioned too, you've been such an influence in the Western horse world. Over $3 million in earnings between the rein cow world, between the reining world. You've been that influence. How do you think you'll take that to the next level with this ranch here?
Well, like I said before, hopefully with my experience and what I've learned through my years of competing and training, and like I said, I've done several disciplines. I'm not just a one discipline guy. I don't know why, but I just like to learn and keep going. So hopefully I can bring a lot of that to the table, and things, like I said, that I have learned, and things to do, things not to do, and hopefully I can guide them in the right direction with this venture.
Todd, I know you mentioned this briefly at the beginning of the interview, but are we still going to get to see you in the show pen at some of these places? I mean, I know you're the general manager over there at Theorem Ranch, but I know you still like to show horses as well.
No, I'm still going to train and show, just kind of in that position where not as many, maybe just the ones I want to, things like that. But yeah, no, I'm getting geared up for the World's Greatest Horseman here next month, and I'll be showing. I still got some Derby horses. I got a few futurity horses coming up. So yeah, I mean, my day is a little different now. I kind of ride a few and then do managerial duties and then go back and ride some more. But yeah, I'll still be in the show pen. Maybe not the numbers, but I'll still be in there.
Glad to hear you still find a way to get out of that office.
Yeah, that's my quiet time now.
Yeah. Well, Todd, thank you so much for joining us to tell us about your new role now at the Theorem Ranch, Texas. They've got a great one in Montana. Now they've ventured into things in Texas, and best of luck in the new role as the GM.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be exciting, and like I said, you'll be hearing from Theorem Ranch.
Yeah, an exciting new chapter here in the Western Sports world.
For sure it is, yeah. That is Todd Bergen joining us here on Western Sports Roundup to tell us all about the Theorem Ranch purchasing TR9. Stay with us when we come back. Odessa, Texas, it's going to wrap up their action tomorrow night. Who are the leaders so far going into the last couple nights of rodeo action? We'll tell you. That's all coming up right after this break. Sandhill Stock Show and Rodeo, that is Odessa, Texas. And when you take you back about a week ago, they actually got started with the first couple performances last week and then had a pile of slack competition earlier this week. Their big Super Tuesday team roping that they have there. And of course, all the breakaway slack, all the slack that took place the first few days of this week. But last night got started back with the second half of their rodeo performances, which will continue tonight and tomorrow night before they crown their champion. So what do you say we look back at last night's performance and see who did the best last night in the perf.
Sounds great to me, Ty. These might not necessarily be your leaders overall, but some of these contestants hopped into contention for some big paychecks, including Reese Reeder. Moonshine Memorial of Butler Pro Rodeos was the dance partner for him. 89 points, Ty. Hard to believe that's third overall.
Yeah, it sure is for Reese right there. Moonshine Memorial was his day. Look at how this horse started right there. That's even slow motion, and things are looking good for Reese. That looks pretty good, especially as that horse circles back around there a little closer to the chutes. And as you mentioned, currently right now, he is third right now in the rodeo.
84.5 points for him there. In the steer wrestling, Boyd Sawyer was 3.7 seconds. The steer wrestlers are competing on two heads, so you can see he's not placing in the aggregate there, but that 3.7 second run has him second overall for round two. Should still be a good paycheck if it holds.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the good thing about Odessa. If you, let's say you don't have much luck on the first round, you can still come back, get a good check in the second round, and that's what it's looking like is going to happen for Boyd. Sure, he's got two more performances to sweat out with tonight and tomorrow night, but no matter what, that 3.7, anytime you're sub 4 second run in the steer wrestling, doesn't really matter where it's at, that should get you a pretty decent paycheck. Hopefully Boyd Sawyer can keep that number 2 spot in the go round. Here's the team roping.
The team roping's been quick too, Ty. This is Quentin Parchman, Caden Graves. They were 4.8 seconds. That's 13th overall. There was a ton of 4 second runs, a lot of splits overall in the team roping, but that's just how tough it is. 4.8. Not going to get them a check.
No, it's definitely not. They're just kind of, it's not even placing, I don't think, right now in the go round. It might hold on for a little light check there in the round, but probably not. No matter what, that's what it looked like last night in the performance. As we go to the saddle bronc riding. Now a new leader in the bronc riding. That's a California bronc rider, Q McCorder. Mistaken Identity was his dance partner. Now number 1, 87 points. And here's the deal. This guy's no stranger to the winner's circle. He's been in the top 25 in the bronc riding in the world standings of the PRCA the last couple of years, and it's because of rides like this.
But look at how strong this horse is, Ty. At the end of this ride, snapping his head back. Mistaken Identity from Butler's is so tough to ride, but I like this Q McCorder. I think we have not seen his potential quite yet. He seems to just be rising every year, and as you said, he's just knocking on the door of a national finals rodeo qualification, but I think he just gets better and better every year. In the tie-down roping, Bo Cooper was the fastest of the evening. No luck for him in the first round. 10-2 for round 2. You can see, Ty, this has been the case all the way through. These calves are tough. They are big-bodied and they're feeling fresh.
They are. I kind of mentioned that last week when they started the rodeo off in Odessa. I remember somebody tying one in 9 or 10 thinking, man, that calf's pretty full and pretty strong right there. And that's exactly the case for the Canadian tie-down roper. Sure, he made a decent run right there. He's been to the national finals rodeo, of course, just a couple of years ago, back in 2023 for Bo Cooper. Fastest run of the night, but not having much luck there in the go-round or the average. As we take you to the barrel racing, it's Lindsay Mugley, 14-41. She's winning second at the rodeo, and things are kind of going well for her for this 2026 season, because remember, the season actually started back in October. Well, Cook's Rodeo Days in Lubbock there in October. She ended up second at that rodeo. She could stay number 2 in Odessa. That'll sure start her 2026 off right.
This horse, too, that she's running looks like a lot of fun. Looks like pretty strong. Really wanted to sit down and wrap back on that first barrel. She had to kind of jockey around the third, but she did so good there to the tune of 14-41, as you said, second overall. Breakaway roping will be next for us. Breely Arms, much like the team roping, 2.3 second run. She is splitting 10th right now with that.
They keep it in the family when it comes to the Arms family. In fact, her dad, Bray, not only is a national finals rodeo steer wrestler, he's leading the average in the steer wrestling at Odessa right now. Of course, Breely's mom, Neely, she goes with him. Most of the time, she hazes for Bray in the steer wrestling. Then she'll come in and breakaway rope as well. But obviously, Breely is the one in the Arms family doing well in the breakaway roping so far at Odessa. Yeah, she's currently 11th place. Yeah, it's gotten fast there in the breakaway roping already.
Oh, it certainly has. In the bull riding, here's a name I have a feeling we're going to say a lot this year, Ty. Hayden Welsh. He was on his permit last year, won $147,000 as a permit. He won enough to qualify for the national finals rodeo, but he decided to stay the course, stay on the permit and has already made a huge statement in 2026 on his card.
He definitely has. 87.5 for him in Odessa. He's winning second at the rodeo. He won the Mountain State Circuit Finals back there in October, so we're going to see Hayden Welsh at the NFR Open later on this summer at Colorado Springs, Colorado. So, yeah, and kind of like the Arms family, I feel like we've been mentioning the Welsh family for quite some time. There's lots of National Finals rodeo talent in that family as well. There is a look at all of your overall leaders at Odessa, Texas. Wasey Shaw leads the bareback riding with an 89. I mentioned Bray Arms. We were talking about his daughter just moments ago in the breakaway roping. He leads the steer wrestling with the average an 8-4 on 2.
Yeah, also picked up that big round 1 check like you mentioned. Dustin Negaskiza, JC Flake, 8-3 on 2, for them. Hugh McWhorter, as we just saw, leads the team saddle bronc riding with an 87. JC Fortier, 2 flat to lead the breakaway. Kincaid Henry, he's still holding down the fort at number 1 in the tie down, 17-7 on 2. Julie Plord, we've been talking with her a lot after her average win at the NFR, 14-38 for her to lead the barrels. And Boudreaux Campbell, he started off that first go round with the 90, and it still holds today, Ty.
Yeah, it's looking good. Like I said, we've got 2 nights of rodeo action still coming your way here on the Cowboy Channel from Odessa, Texas tonight and tomorrow night before they crown their champions. We invite you to stay with us here on Western Sports Roundup. The Montana Pro Rodeo Circuit Finals got underway last night. Who did well in round 1, kicking off 3 days of rodeo action? We'll tell you on the other side of this timeout.
Well, this weekend, Great Falls, Montana is hosting the PRCA's Montana Circuit Finals. The best contestants in the state are competing over the weekend. It's kicked off yesterday. We'll wrap up tomorrow. We've already seen some world champions rise to the top there after the first performance, and there's some great contestants in Montana overall.
Yeah, there definitely is. When we go down this list, you'll definitely know a few of the names that have been to the National Finals Rodeo, including in the bareback riding, Weston Timmerman. Remember, he went to the National Finals Rodeo back in 2024. He won round number 1, 86 points on Dwayne Kessler's Sleeping Giant, pocketed just a little shy of $3,000. We talk about keeping it in the family in the rodeo industry. That's exactly what he's doing. He is the nephew of world champion bareback rider Kelly Timberman. His dad, Chris, won the National Circuit Finals a handful of years ago in the bareback riding. So Weston's just trying to keep that going for here. By the way, Weston has won the Montana Circuit Finals just a couple years ago as well.
Yeah, that family is so proud of their Westy Bear, as he hates to be called by them. But congratulations, Weston Timberman, for him winning round number 1. I said there's some world champions in the mix. Oh, as we look now at the team rope, and Gunnar Plenty 20, Mason Trollinger, 5.9 seconds. I love the combination of contestants that we see at our circuit finals. We've got some world champions in the mix, maybe some contestants that are either just getting started or sticking a little closer to home by choice.
And that's what the circuit system is all about, Katie, in the world of professional rodeo, and you know that as well. I mean, some of these guys, maybe they can't beat up down the road all year long, so they kind of stay close to home, maybe stay in their state, couple neighboring states there for Montana circuit, so stay right there. These guys, they beat the rest of the field, by the way, in the go-round by a little over a full second, so they put on a show last night in the team roping.
Another NFR qualifier in the saddle bronc riding, Sage Newman, 85.5 points. This is Brookman Rodeo's satisfaction. I think he's pretty satisfied with this ride. Almost $3,000 for the good right there for Sage Newman. Another great top pro rodeo cowboy competing there in Montana.
Yeah, and he just came off his 5th trip to the National Finals Rodeo. He's won the Montana Circuit before. He's won the Montana Circuit Finals before as well, so this is definitely familiar territory for him.
Now in the breakaway roping, I mentioned JC Fortier was leading the charge in Odessa. She actually leading the charge after round number 1 of the Montana Circuit Finals. 2 flat for her, $2,900. Look at the way she snuck that one on, Ty. Just barely made it over the nose right at the tail end. Ooh. Hey, they don't care about that when they write your paycheck. Nope. Doesn't matter.
They don't. When you look back at Labor Day weekend last year in Montana and neighboring states of North Dakota, she won a pile of money there at about 3 or 4 different rodeos. Of course, that helped her qualify here to the Montana Circuit Finals as we take you to the tie-down rope, and a guy that not only knows a little something about winning at the Montana Circuit, that's James Ramirez. And the reason I mentioned that, he won the round last night at 8-8, but he went on to the NFR Open last year from this circuit to compete at Colorado Springs, Colorado. So he already knows kind of what it's like to have a good season in your circuit of Montana and end up going to the NFR Open as well.
Yeah, you just never know what could happen. You could just strictly be a circuit guy or gal, win your circuit, go on to the NFR Open, win a bunch of money, hit the rodeo trail. Next thing you know, you might make the National Finals Rodeo. Taylor Moykins, she was your winner in the barrel racing. It is a tiny pattern there in Great Falls, Montana, 12.66 seconds for her. She obviously had the right horse for the job.
Oh yeah, she definitely did. And as you mentioned, that tiny small arena, yeah, sub 13-second runs in the barrel racing. That'll tell you how small it is. But Taylor Moykins looking good as she heads out of the arena there with that 12.66 going into go round number 2 coming up a little later on tonight.
Talking about the bull riding, it was Gavin Knutson here. Dice Hater, $2,800 for him. 85 points was the score. They've got some great stock contractors that came together for the Montana Circuit Finals. Brookman, Sankey's, Dwayne Kessler, J-Bar J, New West Pro Rodeo. Great contractors that came together to put on a good show, and they're just getting started, Ty. This was just performance number 1.
Yeah, this guy was really good at the Chase Hoss Rough Stock event earlier this year as well. He was second there. He won about almost $10,000 up there, and then shows up here at the Montana Circuit Finals and wins round number 1. So things are looking good for Gavin. We failed to mention the world champion Ty Erickson in there in the steer wrestling. Katie, I can't tell. I've lost count of how many times he's won the Montana Circuit and won the Montana Circuit Finals as well. He won the round last night in the series.
Yeah, I know he's proud to be from the state of Montana, and he's clearly very comfortable at the Montana Circuit Finals. So that's a wrap there. Great combination, as I said. NFR qualifiers, world champions like Ty Erickson, and then some guys that are just at home in the state of Montana. And isn't it pretty cool? You've got a whole state, or one state, that makes up a whole circuit.
Yeah, there definitely is some great contestants that come out of that one. And another circuit finals to tell you about, and some great contestants come out of there. And some rodeo fans don't even realize that they have a lot of rodeos up in the Northeast. Well, they do. It's the First Frontier Circuit Finals. They're going on right now. In fact, they've already had a couple performances as well. And we will tell you what that is looking like from the First Frontier Circuit when we return here on Western Sports Roundup. Welcome back to Western Sports Roundup. That is Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, for you rodeo fans out west, you'd think, oh, all the rodeos are in the middle part of the country and out west. Well, not the case. They got a pile of them up in the northeast. And of course, the First Frontier Circuit is all a part of that. The First Frontier Circuit Finals going on right now in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. By the way, it's on our Cowboy Channel Plus app, so you can check it out for yourself.
Yeah, they've got a pile of rodeos up there, but look, Ty, they also had a pile of great people that came out to watch the rodeo too. Safe to say there are a lot of rodeo fans in the First Frontier Circuit, and they should be fans of Tristan Butch. He was 77 points last night on Cowtown Rodeo. Skippy John Joan.
Yep.
That's a hard name to say. I didn't know that was going to be a tongue twister.
Yeah, it looks like a tongue twister. I'm glad you had to do that instead of me. But no matter what, Tristan Bush getting the round win there for the first round. By the way, they've already had another round earlier today. So Tristan's actually leading the average on 2 head as we go to the steer wrestling. There's 2 guys to talk about. Both of them were 4.3 in the steer wrestling event. One was Clay Hart Jr., the other was A.J. Williams, and of course, both of them split the round win, pocketed a little over $2,000 for their win in the big man's event of steer wrestling. That puts them in a good spot. You come back in round 2, do good, come back in round 3. Remember, it's the year-end champions and the average champions from each circuit that advance on to Colorado Springs in the NFR Open.
Yeah, a lot of prestige up for grabs there at the First Frontier Circuit. And the team roping TJ Smith, Scott Brown, they were 5-5 in round number 1. And Ty, as you mentioned too, they already have had round 2 this morning. You can go back and watch it on the Cowboy Channel Plus app. They are your leaders in the average on 2, 12 and 8 seconds on a pair for them. So they've really set themselves up for success as we make our way through these next 2 go-rounds. In the saddle bronc riding, Joe Farron was 82 points for the win in round 1.
Painted Pony Championship Rodeo's East Coast Otis was his dance partner for 8 seconds as that little paint horse circles back around there where the judges can see him pretty good. 82 points for him and for Joe. You can bet he was excited about that, and he should be. Look at there. He's thumbs up all around as he got the round win in round number 1. Now, the bad news is Joe didn't have much luck in the second round earlier today, so things not looking good for him in the average. He needs to come back in round number 3 and hopefully put a show on there so he can stand a chance maybe in that average race.
Hey, he's got some time. He's got a couple of rounds to go. Sierra Clement was 2.9 seconds to win round number 1 in the breakaway. Really set the stage there. Almost made it look too easy, Ty. That sorrel horse just kind of eased along there, and nice smooth run, pulled him to a stop, and won a big go-round. That's
the way the breakaway roping's supposed to look anyway. The $2,500, $2,512 to be exact, for the win for Sierra. As we take you to the tie-down roping, that is Lane Weber that you're looking at, 11-2 for him to get the first round win there at the First Frontier Circuit Finals. He must have not liked the way he felt that calf. You notice when he flanked that calf was a little strong. You kind of had to go back to him a little bit to flank him. That's probably the reason he puts 2 reps and a half hitch on that calf to make sure that he didn't get up. That's just all in the feel of a tie-down roper when they get their hands on him there. So smart move for Lane. It ends up letting him win the round.
Carissa Landis is having a good circuit finals here in the barrel racing, 14.91 in the first round. She cruised through at 15.16 in the second round to now actually tie for the lead in the average, 30.07 on 2 for her. She is poised and ready to try to take home the average title.
And that's the thing. You just keep going with what's been happening for you in the next couple of go-rounds, and things will look good for her at the First Frontier Circuit Finals for Carissa. She's looking good, not only after night number 1, but after round number 2 as well. As we take you to the bull riding, that is Lane Champagne, 79 points on Painted Pony Championship Rodeo's Black Sox right there. See that bull turn back into his hand? He kind of wanted to quit there at the end. He's like, man, I hadn't had somebody ride me quite that long for 8 seconds, but Lane stayed aboard for all of it for 8 seconds. He looked good in go-round number 1.
And here's the thing, Ty. He bucked off in round number 2, but so did just about everybody else. So he is actually splitting the lead in the average with this one ride right here. I think it's going to change a lot over these next 2 go-rounds there at the First Frontier circuit finals. As we said too, a lot of money up for grabs, $2,500 a go-round. That really puts a good foundation on someone's season, and we could see some of these names heading down the Pro Rodeo Trail.
Absolutely, and just like we told you in the Montana circuit and every other circuit, the year-end champion and the average champion, that's the champion from the circuit finals. Those are the ones that move on and advance to the NFR Open. So that gets you up to date on First Frontier Circuit, but we ask you to stay with us here on the Cowboy Channel. When we continue here on Western Sports Roundup, we'll have your Veterans top 3 stories here on a Friday edition when we return.
We're back once more inside our Cowboy Channel studios for this Friday edition of Western Sports Roundup. I'm Katie Lucas here once again with Ty McClary, and I feel like we really have bounced all around the rodeo and Western performance world. We've been up in the First Frontier Circuit, We've been over to Montana, we've talked a little Texas, we've talked a little Denver, big news with the Theorem Ranch as well. So why don't we recap those top 3 stories that we have from today's episode, brought to you by our friends at Veterans Clean Tree Heel, advancing animal wellness.
You just mentioned the Theorem Ranch. It was definitely one of our big stories today. They acquired the former Teton Ridge TR9 Ranch out just west of Fort Worth here just a little ways. Of course, Todd Bergen, a $3 million rider, joined us here in studio to get us up to date on how it was all taking place.
And this was one of our favorite rides from last night's rodeo performances. Hugh McWhorter, he takes the lead at the Sandhill Stock Show and Rodeo there in Odessa, Texas. Could this be his year? We'll see.
We will find out. The National Western up in Denver continues. In fact, just prior to Western Sports Roundup here, we had performance number 2 of bracket number 1. If you missed any of it, go back and check it out on the Cowboy Channel Plus app. We told you who the winners were, not only from that performance earlier today, but the performance from yesterday as well. That's kicked off all the bracket competition there in Denver. It's going to continue, by the way, right here on the Cowboy Channel each and every day, all the way through the semifinals and right into the finals for them to crown champions in Denver all the way next week.
You've got a lot to choose from if you're watching the Cowboy Channel or the Cowboy Channel Plus app today. We've got rodeos all over the place. As we said, Sandhill Stock Show and Rodeo, they're just 2 performances away from crowning their champions in Odessa, Texas. You can catch it tonight at 12:30 a.m. Eastern for all you night owls out there. It'll be live on the Cowboy Channel and Cowboy Channel Plus as well. That's such an exciting rodeo. I know one you've been a part of in the past before, Ty, and it's pretty special to you too.
Yeah, that one's a good one. I picked up broncs there for quite a few years, some years ago, so that one was always fun to me. My hometown of Abilene Abilene, Texas, not too far there from Odessa. So yeah, I'm a West Texas boy myself. And Denver, it will continue, as I just mentioned. Tonight we'll start off a new bracket. It's performance number 3, but it's actually bracket number 2. Round number 1 of bracket number 2, which will get underway tonight. That'll be at 10 o'clock Eastern time, which you can catch it right here live on the Cowboy Channel and on the Cowboy Channel Plus app as well.
They'll have 3 big performances tomorrow, too. Super Saturday is what they like to call it in Denver. But the performances tonight continue. Montana Circuit Finals. We'll have another one of those out of Great Falls, Montana. That's streaming right now on Cowboy Channel Plus app as well, and also the First Frontier Circuit.
Yep, from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania will continue on the Cowboy Channel Plus app. Remember, too, Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo opening weekend is this weekend tonight. We'll get underway with the Ranch Rodeo action. That will be on our Cowboy Channel Plus app as well. So we've got lots going on here at the Cowboy Channel. Just needless to say, it's pretty busy around here, but we like it that way. For Katie Lucas, I'm Ty McClary. That is going to wrap up Western Sports Roundup. Thanks for riding along with us. Have a great Western weekend, everybody.